Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope your week has been also an amazing start, and I hope you all are in good health. So welcome you guys. Today we're getting out there in the garden. Please excuse the background noise. I am running the dryer trying to wash some clothes, and then also my neighbor is doing some work on their house, so you hear some little background noise in the back. But today, you guys, I really need to get out in my garden. A lot of stuff needs some actual maintenance that I want to take care of, especially my raised bed area. I need to just pull some stuff out of there, cut some things back, and then just kind of pull a few weeds if I have time today. It's been raining off and on here for like the last month, so everything is soaked and wet. I tried to get out here yesterday. Actually, I got as far as just propping up my sunflower seeds that I planted, or my sunflowers that I planted, just trying to staking them up because we've been getting a lot of heavy rain, and then everything kind of just flops when it rains. So I got that done yesterday, but as soon as I actually did that, it just started pouring. So everything is wet again. But right now it's supposed to be a cloudy day, and it's like an overcast day. So I'm gonna try to get out here for at least an hour or two before it gets extremely hot, and just try to take care of some backyard maintenance or garden maintenance today. So that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brings you some garden inspiration. So yeah, let's get to it. So in today's video, I have a lot of garden maintenance to do, you guys. I really need to catch up on my garden. It is in the middle of July, so everything has been grown out. I need to cut back a lot of my annuals, and then also I need to pull some weeds. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to go ahead and get my Gorilla cart because I'm going to use that to fill up all of my garden debris. So that way when I'm done, I can try to add it to my compost. But I think nonetheless, I will have so much garden debris that all of it may not fit in my compost. So I might just have to toss some of it. But yeah, as you can see here, a lot of stuff has overgrown. So it's been a while since I've been on here sharing a garden video with you guys. I've been so busy with work and working over there on my other channel, Decorating Made Easy with Trina. So definitely I've been behind with doing my garden chores. So I'm trying to catch up. So we're going to start over here by my patio area. I have this raised bed that I have some salvia planted in here, and then I also have some lemon coral sedum in here as well. So the salvia, I probably should have cut back this a while ago, but it still had beautiful blooms on it. The bumblebees have just been loving it, so I didn't want to cut it back. But as you can see now, it's starting to flop over, and they're getting really top heavy, and then it has blooms on it, but a lot of the blooms have dried up. So I'm going to go in and cut everything back and trim it, give it a little haircut and trim it down, so that way it can push out another flush of blooms, and then also give my sedum a little breathing room down at the bottom. So I planted I think 4 salvia in this raised bed container. If you've been following me on the channel, you probably seen me actually plant this raised bed up. I did have an echinacea in the back that I ended up having to move to the main border because it was just getting suffocated and drowned out by the salvia. I gotta say, the salvia has performed really well this year. I did purchase it from Lowe's. It didn't even have a variety on it. It just says salvia, but it's been blooming its head off since I planted it. So I'm gonna give it a haircut so that way it can push out some fresh new blooms. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Trina. I share all gardening content over here on this channel. This is a sub channel of my main channel where I do a lot of decorating, but on this channel I'm sharing all of my gardening inspiration with you guys over here. I do garden in zone 9B and my area is Houston, Texas. So right now it is 85 degrees. It is like maybe 11 o'clock in the morning and it's supposed to get a high of 95 degrees. We've been having some really good weather down here in Houston. Usually around this time, y'all, it be so dry and hot that I be struggling trying to get everything watered and making sure things are staying alive. But this year has been a really good season for me. We've been getting a lot of rain, but the rain has not been like too heavy where it's been a lot of flooding in the area, but it's just been just a nice amount of rain just to keep everything moist and green. So it's actually been really good for us down here. The only thing is that it's been raining so much that it's hard to kind of get out here and try to maintain my garden because every time I turn around it's raining. Like yesterday I came out here trying to prop up my sunflowers or stake up my sunflowers because I planted a lot of sunflowers and in my raised bed behind me, and sometimes when it gets a heavy rain they tend to flop over, so I didn't want the stems to break. So I ended up coming out here and kind of tying them up with some bamboo sticks and just trying to stake them up so they can kind of stay straight up so they won't flop with the heavy rain. And then I was outside probably for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes and it started pouring rain. It's been like that for weeks down here. So it's kind of really hard to get out here and get stuff done because by the time it stopped raining, it's like crazy hot and humid and it's just too hot to get out here to do anything. So I'm trying to make sure I get out here early enough to try to tackle some of these garden chores. Even right now, you will see me later on in this video where I have to go in and change my clothes after an hour and just take a break because it's still so hot and humid. So we're going to move over here to my shed, and I planted this mini rose that I got from my grocery store. It has some beautiful yellow blooms on it, and I just kind of deadheaded some of the dead roses off of it. And then I'm going to cut back this lime tree. I think I told y'all a story about this lime tree. This thing has died back so many times, and every time it dies back, the leaves look totally different on it. So I don't even think it's the actual original lime tree. I think because they graft these trees with other trees, and so I don't think that that's the original lime tree. So I really need to pull it out, but I just don't have the time to pluck because it's too hot. So I need to find something else to go in it. I did plant up these two gardenia trees and underplanted them with some lantana. They have been doing really good and loving their life over here. I have one on each side of this raised bed. Then I have my sunflowers here in the middle. As you can see, they have so much growth on them. They've been doing so good. I actually got those sunflower seeds from Amazon. So I'll link them down in the description box below because they have germinated and they have just living their best life. This is like the best season that I've had for sunflowers because I have planted other varieties that they just didn't perform as well as these. So I'll have these linked down in the description box below. But we're going to work over here on this side of my patio. I'm going to cut back some of this I think this is some Russian sage. It's bloomed its heads off, so I'm trying to cut off all the dead blooms and just give it a haircut too, so I can try to put out another flush of blooms. And then my arborvitaes, I had them underplanted with some vinca and some pentas, and then some English ivy. The English ivy and the vinca is doing good, but I think some of the pentas have kind of died out because of, I don't know if they got too much rain or what the issue is, but I'm just going to take the dead leaves off and then leave everything else in place. But nonetheless, the arborvitae is doing really good. So I'm going to clean out my green stalk tower next. I have this tower I usually use for a lot of herbs. I have some stuff in there that I need to give a good trim. So a lot of my herbs have flowered. Like I have some creeping thyme, have some regular thyme, some oregano. Everything has kind of flowered. So I've been harvesting it as much as I can, but sometimes it grows too fast. I can't harvest all of them and use all of it. So I'm just going to cut everything back and give it a haircut. I also had a kale in there that you just see me remove. I had that kale in there since January. I don't really like the taste of kale. I just grew it just for the characteristic of the plant, and it's been loving its life up until now. So now it's finally kind of died off. So I'm just pulling that out. Then also have some sage in here that I need to cut back. This sage is like a pineapple sage, as you see kind of at the top, but it's loving its life. So I'm just going to give it a good trim, and then hopefully everything will regenerate some new growth. Over here on my patio, I'm going to deadhead this flowering ginger plant. This plant is so gorgeous. It puts out several blooms, and this is the first time I own one of these plants, but you do have to keep it in part shade. So that's why it's over here on my porch, because I think our sun would be too kind of strong for this plant. So I got it over under here underneath my patio so I can kind of get some shade. But it has these beautiful blooms on it, and the blooms just look so gorgeous, you guys. So I'm just taking all the dead flowers off so it can kind of put out some new growth. I planted up these two containers with you guys on camera, and I absolutely love how these two containers have turned out. The calico cobra, I can never pronounce the super bells name, right? The actual technical name, but y'all know what I mean. The super bells, they were kind of the vintage coral. I think that was a variety of it. So I'm going to give it a haircut and trim those as well so it can put out new blooms on it. But the elephant ears and the coleus just has been growing and doing its thing. So I'm just going to give everything a little trim over here on this side. That way the super bells can put out some new growth. Then also I'm going to trim up this Eugenia topiary. This one is a really cute topiary, you guys. It's a 2-ball topiary, but the bottom I have underplanted with some Mexican heather grass, which is kind of overgrown. So it's kind of intertwined in with the bottom ball of this topiary. So I'm going to trim off the bottom so that the bottom ball of this topiary can get some new growth. I have a sister to it on the other side, which y'all seen right in front of that raised bed that I have the salvia in, but that thing has, I don't know what it is. It has the proper amount of sun, has water, and it just still would not grow. It did good for like the first few weeks that I bought it, and then it just kind of died off. Like you will see the Mexican heather underneath it just growing so good, but then at the top the Eugenia topiary itself is just dead. So it was looking like it was coming back for a moment, and then now with all the heavy rain it just kind of like died off. There's nothing growing on it at all. So I need to pull that dead plant out of it, but I haven't found anything to replace it. And then plus I got those Mexican heather underneath it that I don't want to kind of disturb those plants because it's just too hot. So I'm gonna have to try to find something else to go into that container. And then once I find something, when it gets cool enough in the morning, just go ahead and transplant something else in that space, because right now it's just not giving what it's supposed to be giving. Next I'm gonna pull all these weeds that I have growing inside of my pathways. I started this pathways early this spring. I killed all my grass and put wood chips down or mulch, and then created some walkways. And I gotta say, I absolutely love it because my yard is dry. That was one problem that I had with my garden. It was just retaining so much water, and it's always muddy and wet. Now that even though it still gets wet, it dries really fast, and then you can actually step and walk back here without stepping in mud. So I absolutely love that. But the grass, because it's new, where I just created this walkway, the grass is kind of still creeping up, so you still have some weeds that kind of want to creep up. So I have to kind of go in so often and pull some of those weeds out and clean it up a little bit. But I gotta say, it hasn't been that many weeds in here where I need to do it quite often, but some of them still creep right up through the weed barrier that I have put down. Okay, this is my raised bed area over here. It don't even look like a raised bed area because everything has just grown all crazy like a jungle. So I'm going to clean out. I have 4 raised beds here that I need to deal with and clean out. The first bed that you see me working on is this raised bed here, which I had 2 indeterminate tomatoes growing in here. I had a Perica tomato, and then I had a Cherokee purple tomato growing in both of these beds. And then I also have 1 jalapeno pepper that's all the way over there to the corner that's been producing so much fruit that I actually absolutely love, that I'm just going to leave in. And then also I have some basil down here too, y'all. Everything just kind of just grown crazy, intertwined together, and it just looks like a mess. So I'm going to take out those tomatoes. I'm going to leave in the basil, and then that one jalapeno pepper plant, I'm going to leave that in. And then also anything that's kind of dead in here that's been choked out or whatever from this tomato plant, I'm just going to remove it. Because I did have some marigolds down here too, but this indeterminate tomato has just grown so crazy. As you can see, I got a trellis here, and it still kind of grew all over this trellis and way above it. So I'm going to pull it out and just get rid of it. I have harvested a lot of tomatoes from the yellow pear, which I absolutely love. They're kind of like semi-sweet grape tomatoes to me, and they taste really good in salads and things like that. So I've harvested so many off of that. And then that Cherokee purple, this is like the second season that I tried to grow this tomato variety. Different varieties from, this one is from my local garden center, and it still does not produce anything. When it does produce tomato, they always either have some type of bugs on it, or they either have some type of bottom rot, something. They always have something going on with it, so it has a lot of disease to it. So I don't think I'm gonna try to grow that tomato anymore. So I'm gonna just rip that out because it looks like a mess. I just don't like the way it looks. Next time I'm just gonna plant some determinate tomatoes, like the little Romas. Those are the ones that I actually use, and then they don't grow as big and bulky as those indeterminate tomatoes. Now in this bed, I had my dahlias in here. I had the Cafe Olay that I got from Lowe's. I did not like the way those performed either, because they're supposed to have been white and they were actually purple the whole season. And then once I even had them staked up, but then once we had the rain and everything, those things just kind of flopped and broke limbs and everything else. So now it just looks like a jungle mess. So I'm pulling out the dahlias that's in here. It is 3 in here, but they all fell off and broke because of the heavy rain. So I'm just going to remove them. And then I have like 6 angel face angelonia that I have in here. That's by Monrovia. And those things have been blooming its heads off, but now the blooms are all done. Actually, I was supposed to probably had cut these angelonia back a while ago. As you can see, it has so much growth on it, but no flowers because it needed to be cut back. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to cut all of them back, give them all a haircut, clear out all of those dahlias, and then it'll have some room to breathe and put on some new growth. And then probably when they start putting some more stuff out in the garden center, maybe I'll put some stuff in the corners to kind of trail down, because I did have some sweet alyssum that I overwintered that was in all of these raised beds in the corners, but they tend to they dried out. They lasted all the way for like maybe a year, and now they kind of just like fizzled out. So I'm just gonna remove those, and then once they put something else in the garden centers, I'll find something else to go on it, like in the corners of these raised beds.
under my feet. You never really said it all till you said it all. Testing, testing now. Where do we go from here? You never really said it all till we say it all. Got time if not, but I need to know. Where do we go from here? White lies till I'm over it. It's getting on nerves. Guilt-free cover up. Lights out, nothing under me. No one's getting hurt. It's good after all. You never really said it all till you said it all. Testing, testing now. Where do we go from here? Never really said it all till we say it all. Got time if not, but I need to know. Where do we go from here?
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken, 'cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost, no, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up 'cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson, 'cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. Myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. 'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone.
Moving on to these last two raised beds that I have here, I had like 4 pepper plants that was mixed into these raised beds with my star jasmine, and I have harvested so many peppers off of these pepper plants. They were from a friend of mine that I work with, and she gave me these pepper plants, and I did not expect them to grow this tall. They, as you can see, they are huge, but what they're doing is they're kind of fighting and competing with my star jasmine. My star jasmine is a perennial, is an evergreen, and I bought this to kind of vine up this arbor here because it gives these beautiful white flowers and it just smells amazing in the spring. And I really need this arbor, this jasmine, to kind of do its thing. As you see, I took those peppers out because I just they just suffocating each other. So look at all this new growth that I have on this jasmine that it just didn't have nowhere to vine, and it started vining on the peppers and mixing in. I don't even know why I planted that in there. It was just it wasn't a good idea. So next time I won't do that, because next time I'll just plant my peppers and tomatoes in a flower pot, and then that way I don't have to worry about them mix it in with my plants, because I'm not really a vegetable gardener. I really have, as you can see, a lot of plants. That's what I tend to love. I do grow some edible things, but not a lot. And then so I try to save on space and try to mix things together, but sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But yeah, see how much growth it has on this star jasmine. It's like huge at the bottom because it didn't really have anywhere to vine. So now that I removed those peppers, I'm going to go ahead and just try to feed these vine up on this trellis so it can kind of take off and fill in. If you don't, star jasmine is a fast growing shrub, so it grows really fast. And I bought this back in January and I didn't think it was going to put on so much growth. This is actually one plant. So I have one, I split it in half, put one on this half where I'm at now, and then the other one is on the other side of the trellis. But as you can see, this one has a lot more growth than that other side. So I'm just trying to feed it in just so it can kind of take off and just try to fill this whole trellis up with beautiful green leaves, green foliage, and beautiful white flowers. Now it got so hot, y'all, I'm like sweating. As you can see, I got my little hat on my head and the hat is just sliding down, child, with sweat because it's so hot. So I was just trying to work fast just so I can get out of the sun and go in the house and take a break at this point. I didn't clean out the last raised bed behind me on camera because my phone got so hot out here in the heat that it ended up just shutting off. So I ended up having to just kind of just do that other raised bed off camera. But I'm going to get out here tomorrow early in the morning, and then I'm going to show you guys all the debris that I got. And then also I need to kind of plant some new things and just try to rearrange some stuff in the garden. So I'll do that tomorrow or in another video. But today I just really wanted to get these beds cleaned out and then try to get everything do some maintenance and stuff like that. I still need to come out here and fertilize, which I'll probably do that tomorrow, y'all. I'm just exhausted at this point. I even had to get me a little fan because it was so hot. But my peppers, I tried to plant them in the other raised beds just to save them, but because of the heat, they just did not survive. So I ended up just tossing those. So yeah, next time I'll just put those in a flower pot so that way they won't take up so much space, because I never knew that they were going to get that big. They were probably at least 4 feet tall. I mean, they're huge. So but the good thing is that I had the chance to harvest a lot of bell peppers off of it. And I had a chance to harvest a lot of Roman tomatoes and pear tomatoes too. But when it started getting really hot like this, sometimes the tomatoes and stuff stop producing and they just grow too wild for me. I don't like the way they look aesthetically. So I just pulled them out, and then I'm going to put something else in there. But yeah, so I got a lot done in this video, you guys. I hope this gives you guys some inspiration to get out there and tackle some garden chores in your own garden. I'm trying to make it a habit to try to get out here early in the morning before it starts getting blazing hot. That way I can kind of get some stuff done quickly and fast. At least if I can work like maybe about 30 minutes to an hour and just get some stuff done, I'll be happy with that. But nonetheless, I'm so happy with how my garden has turned out this year. Everything is thriving. Everything is growing. Probably in the next video, I do need to go in and cut back my grasses that's along my fence. I have like 4 of those large grasses. And usually, I know you're supposed to cut grasses back in January or February down here at my zone. But those grasses grow so big and wild. I always give them a haircut midsummer, because you'll be surprised how this variety just grows so crazy that they'll be wild again about time fall and about time wintertime comes. So the next video, you'll see me give them a haircut and then try to pull some weeds and try to and deadhead some things in that long border. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel a lot. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.